Welcome back to Hoosier Sports Night in men's basketball action. It was number 1 versus number 2 in the land. Let's go out for Wisconsin at OSU. Early on, it's Greg Oden with a little something in the lane. He had 11 and 5 on the day. Badger Joe Krabenhoff feeds Cameron Taylor in the corner for 3 of his 10, and Wisconsin leads 8-5, but Ohio State takes back the lead on Ivan Harris's shot from downtown. As the first half winds down, watch Trevin Hughes take it the length of the floor, and he feeds Jason Bohannon for 2 of his 11 in the game. Moving forward to the second half, that's Jason Chappell with the alley and Alano Tucker with the oop. Score is 26-26. Now the 35-year-old Greg Oden rejects one and forces a turnover as Mike Conley Jr. leads the break, and he's going to dish here to Jamar Butler. He had 4 assists on the day. Wisconsin down 2, and Jason Bohannon drops one of 3 long balls right here on the day as the Badgers lead 37-36. Then he feeds Tucker for 2 of his 12, and Wisconsin is up by 1. With time winding down, Mike Davis refused to recruit him, but Conley wins it for the Buckeyes on a runner.
So Ohio State locks up the number 1 seed in the Big Ten with their win. Wisconsin will have to settle for a second-place finish despite their best regular season ever. With a huge 6-team logjam in the middle of the conference, things are still wide open with just a couple of games left. Illinois currently stands at the top of that group with a 9-6 conference record and 1 game remaining at Iowa. Teams that are likely to fall are Michigan State and Michigan, who play each other before MSU goes to Wisconsin and Michigan hosts Ohio State. Teams that could finish strong are Purdue and your Hoosiers, each with 2 games remaining against the bottom dwellers of the conference. Let's now bring in Mark Kaplan, who has more on the rest of the college basketball world.
The biggest game of the week was a battle for Big East supremacy as the 8th-ranked Pittsburgh Panthers traveled to Georgetown to take on the 12th-ranked Hoyas. The Hoyas took command early and ended up conquering the Panthers to take full control of the top spot in the Big East, as well as their 11th straight win. The best game of the week came on Thursday, and it featured 2 Pac-10 teams as the 11th-ranked Washington State Cougars went against the 24th-ranked Oregon Ducks. The Cougars were down by 3 when Tyler Rocheski hits this unreal left-handed runner to put them down by 1. But Oregon would answer when Aaron Brooks decides to take on the whole team. In some way, somehow, gets the shot to go in, and that'd be all they needed as Oregon escapes with the victory 64-59. The Upside Special featured the best team and worst team in the SEC as the 3rd-ranked Florida Gators got crushed by the unranked and underachieving LSU Tigers 66-56. There was another big upset, and it took place in the Mountain West Conference as TCU, who is last in their conference, managed to beat 13th-ranked Air Force 71-66. And on Sunday, the North Carolina Tar Heels couldn't stop DJ Sweet as Strawberry and his Maryland team as they barely beat the Tar Heels 89-87. There are now 3 teams tied for the first place in the ACC. The Player of the Week comes all the way from the Horizon League and is on Thursday when Youngstown State's Quinn Humphreys was hitting everything in sight and scored 35 points and grabbed 14 rebounds to beat the top team in the conference, Wright State. Now here are some more teams from small conferences that can make a big impact in the tournament. From the Missouri Valley Conference, Southern Illinois, who has an RPI of 4, and Creighton, who has an RPI of 30. The most impressive conference is the Mountain West, which has 3 teams in the RPI top 20. UNLV has an RPI of 12, Air Force has an RPI of 19, and Conference leader BYU has an RPI of 24. I'm Mark Kaplan, and that was the rundown.
Barring a disastrous finish, Indiana looks to be a lock for the NCAA tournament, but seeding becomes a big issue now as the season winds down. IU has an 8-6 conference record as they are 18-9 overall. The Hoosiers have key wins against Wisconsin, Southern Illinois, and on the road at UConn. However, Indiana is 3-8 on the road this season, which could ultimately hurt their tournament seeding. IU has an RPI of 20, and it looks as if the Big Ten tournament could end up being the determining factor for the Hoosiers.
Looking over at the women's side, the Lady Hoosiers traveled to Penn State on Sunday to close out the regular season. And just like the men's team, the women have had trouble winning away from Assembly Hall, with just 1 road victory in conference play this season. The final game would prove to be no different as the Hoosiers dropped the game to the Lady Lions 78-68. Sarah McKay and Jamie Braun both registered double-doubles for IU, but it simply wasn't enough firepower to match Penn State's 50% shooting on the night. The Hoosiers finished the regular season with a 17-12 mark overall and 6-10 in conference play. Next up is the Big Ten tournament, which begins March 1st.
On Thursday, the Indiana women's basketball team won easily on senior night, defeating Northwestern 83-59. 5 players scored in double figures, led by senior Sarah McKay's 21. McKay shot 7 of 13 from the field and was a perfect 7 of 7 from the free throw line. As a team, the Lady Hoosiers shot 49.2% from the field and winning their 17th game of the season. Other seniors saying goodbye to the home crowd included guard Leah Ennerline and forward Carrie Smith. And although he was just here, Mark Kaplan was there with more from senior night.
It was senior day at Assembly Hall as the Indiana women's basketball team took on Northwestern. Indiana won by 24, but more importantly, it was an emotional day for the seniors.
I never could have predicted these 4 years turning out like this, but I wouldn't change a second of it. It's great to celebrate tonight like we did, and especially with the victory and everyone playing well and coming together.
4 years have been a roller coaster ride. You know, we've had some really good times, and you know, we've had some changes that were made in difficult times, but all in all, you know, we stuck together and our team pulled through, and the ones who wanted to stay and become champions stayed, and you know, we're ready to do something special here, so we're not ready to be done for a while.
Indiana got 17th victory by a large margin, 24 points. That's a well-needed win considering the upcoming Big Ten tournament is on its way. Reporting from Assembly Hall, I'm Mark Kaplan, Hoosier Sports Tonight.
So here are your final Big Ten Conference standings for women's basketball. The Buckeyes of Ohio State pull off the unisex sweep. They'll get a bye in the first round of the conference tournament, along with Purdue, Michigan State, Illinois, and Penn State, who finished in 5th place on tiebreakers. The Hoosiers do not hold tiebreakers with Iowa, but fortunately it makes little difference as they will face each other anyways in the 8-9 game. In their only meeting this season, Iowa defeated the Hoosiers 71-67 here at Assembly Hall. The winner of the game will have the tough task of facing Ohio State in round number 2.
The Lady Hoosiers still have an outside shot at getting into the women's tournament with some key wins down the stretch and road wins against Notre Dame and Illinois. A Big Ten tournament run would add the missing piece to IU's resume. But some bad losses this season at home to Iowa, Michigan State, and Purdue might be what holds back the Hoosiers when it comes to playing deep into March. IU will return to action on March 1st at the 2007 Big Ten's women's basketball tournament at Conseco Fieldhouse in Indianapolis for their first-round matchup with Iowa. We're going to take a quick break here on Hoosier Sports Night, but make sure you come back because IU Athletics may have brought another Big Ten championship to Bloomington.